Hello students, welcome to tutoringcluster.com. So in the last video, of course it was little bit lengthy, but I have tried to cover maximum points related to gears, right? Okay. Now in this video, we are going to talk about gearbox. Okay. So we are going to learn about the location of gearbox, where it is situated. Then what is the need of gearbox? कि gearbox क्यों जरूरी है? What is the function of gearbox? Okay, types of gearbox, and then we are going to solve some numericals which are based on the gear ratio and power transmission capacity of gearbox. Okay, so these are the major things we are supposed to learn in this video. Okay, so let us start with the video. Okay, so where does gearbox situated? So you will find the gearbox, okay, between the clutch and propeller shaft. Okay, so basically gearbox, it receives the power from engine and it transmits the power to the propeller shaft. Okay, right. So now why there is need of gearbox? क्योंकि सी इंजन तो पावर प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है, तो ऐसे भी कर सकते हैं कि इंजन जो भी पावर प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है वो हम डायरेक्टली अगर व्हील को सप्लाई करते हैं, सो वी कैन अवॉइड दिस कंप्लीट एलिमेंट, क्लच, गियर बॉक्स, प्रोपेलर शाफ्ट, देन डिफरेंशियल गियर बॉक्स, ऐसा भी हो सकता है, राइट? बट क्या प्रॉब्लम आ रही है कि जो भी इंजन पावर प्रोड्यूस करता है, दैट इज एब्सोल्युटली फाइन, द स्पीड इज हाई, okay, but torque produced by the engine is not sufficient to pull your vehicle or to run your vehicle. That's why हमें gearbox place करना पड़ता है between engine and wheel. Okay, okay, let us understand one by one. So basically in gearbox, what happens is torque is increased and speed is reduced. Okay, this is the first point. And second, it produces a different speed range from for the vehicle. Okay, right. Now let us understand. See what I have told. Obviously, power is getting produced in engine, that we know. Okay, तो हम क्या कर सकते हैं, इंजन से डायरेक्टली व्हील को पावर ट्रांसमिट कर सकते हैं एंड यू कैन रन योर व्हीकल. Okay, but what is the problem here? Even though engine is producing good amount of power as well as good amount of speed, okay, but torque produced by the engine, torque produced by the engine is not sufficient, is not sufficient to run the vehicle, to run the vehicle. Okay, see, let's say this is your vehicle. अभी ये वेहिकल को हमें पुल करना है, दैट मीन्स हमें कुछ टॉर्क लगेगा. ओके, अगर कोई लीनियर ऑब्जेक्ट है, अगर कोई भी ऑब्जेक्ट है उसको पुश करना है हमें, ऑब्वियसली हम फोर्स लगाते हैं. अभी यहाँ पे क्या है, रोटेशनल मूवमेंट है, सो दैट्स व्हाई वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट टॉर्क. सो टू पुल द व्हीकल, टू रन द व्हीकल, वी नीड अ टॉर्क. So torque produced by the engine, it is not sufficient to run the vehicle. That's why हमें गियरबॉक्स की जरूरत पड़ती है. तो क्या फंक्शन है गियरबॉक्स का? इन गियरबॉक्स बेसिकली टॉर्क इज इंक्रीज्ड एंड स्पीड इज रिड्यूस्ड. ओके, आपको ये ध्यान में रखना है. क्या होता है गियरबॉक्स में, कि गियरबॉक्स की नीड क्या है, जरूरत क्या है. So what you have to remember, torque produced by the engine is not sufficient to run the vehicle. That's why we need gearbox. What is the position of the gearbox? Gearbox is between clutch and propeller shaft. So gearbox is going to transfer the power from engine to the propeller shaft, and in gearbox torque is increased while speed is reduced. So I hope आपको गियर बॉक्स की बेसिक जो चीजें जानना जरूरी है वो अभी तक पता चल गया होगा. ओके, राइट. नाउ देर आर अदर फंक्शंस ऑल्सो ऑफ गियर बॉक्स. लेट्स से आपको व्हीकल को रिवर्स लेना है. So it is possible with gearbox. Okay, with the reverse gearbox can provide mean to move your vehicle in reverse direction. Okay, is it clear? Right. Second, gearbox, it provides wide range of speed and torque to the vehicle. अभी देखो, let's say this is how your, let's say you are going in hilly area, hill station. तो obviously अगर आपको व्हीकल यहाँ पे रन करना है, लेट्स से दिस इज योर व्हीकल, सो इन दिस केस you will require more torque but less speed. ओके, आपको ये ध्यान में रखना है. इज इट राइट? अगर व्हीकल को, अगर आपको हिली एरिया में, दिस इज व्हाट स्टीप, राइट, अगर ये जैसे जैसे थीटा बढ़ेगा उस हिसाब से टॉर्क रिक्वायरमेंट विल बी हायर एंड स्पीड ऑब्वियसली इट हैज टू बी स्लो. ओके, अगर कोई, आप अगर कोई हिली स्टेशन पे जा रहे हो, वहां पे आप फास्ट नहीं जा सकते. उतरते वक्त आप फास्ट आ सकते हो, लेकिन चढ़ते वक्त यू टू, आपकी जो बाइक या फिर कार होगी उसका स्पीड क्या होता है, कम होता है, लेकिन टॉर्क रिक्वायरमेंट उस टाइम पे ज्यादा होता है. अपोजिट टू दिस, सो अगर आप उतर रहे हो कोई हिली स्टेशन से, तो यहाँ पे टॉर्क रिक्वायरमेंट क्या रहेगी, लेस रहेगी. ऑब्वियसली यहाँ पे स्पीड क्या मिलेगा, आपको ज्यादा मिलेगा. दिस टू कंडीशंस यू हैव टू रिमेंबर. ओके, आप खुद भी एक्सपीरियंस कर सकते हो, राइट. जब आप कोई रास्ते पे अगर वहां पे चढ़ है, तो आपकी जो बाइक है, जो भी गियर वाली बाइक यूज करता है, वो फर्स्ट या सेकंड गियर पे होती है. आप फोर्थ गियर पे रख के चढ़ नहीं पाते हो. ओके, तो आपको वहां पे फर्स्ट या फिर सेकंड गियर पे, आपकी मोस्टली फर्स्ट गियर, वहां पे आपकी बाइक हो या फिर कार हो, दैट मीन्स जैसे जैसे आपका गियर बढ़ेगा, टॉर्क क्या होगा, कम होते जाएगा. स्पीड ऑफ द बाइक और कार, इट इज गोइंग टू इंक्रीज. ओके, तो आपको ये दो सिनारियो ध्यान में रखने हैं कि कहाँ पे टॉर्क रिक्वायरमेंट ज्यादा है और स्पीड कम है. ओके, और कहाँ पे टॉर्क रिक्वायरमेंट कम है, स्पीड ज्यादा है. Okay, so these are all different points you have to remember. We will quickly going to revise everything. So function of gearbox is what? Torque is increased, speed is reduced. Second, if you want to take your bike or car in reverse direction, gearbox is going to help you. And third चीज आपको ध्यान में रखनी है, gearbox it provides different speeds to the vehicle as well as different torque. Okay, so these are overall things related to gearbox. Please note down all these points. These are very important. MCQs can be framed on this. Now, so you can simply pause the video and just note down all one by one point. That is more than enough, right? Okay. Now, there are different types of gearbox that you should able to know, you should know. First is constant mesh gearbox. This is just for information. Okay, constant mesh gearbox. Second is sliding mesh gearbox. Okay, and third one is synchro mesh gearbox. Okay, so in a car you will find synchro mesh gearbox. Basically it's a advanced version, you can say. It's a improved version. It's a improved version of constant mesh gearbox. Okay, this is more than enough to know. Okay, कार में कौन सा यूज होता है, synchro mesh gearbox, right? Okay, now what is the gear ratio or the speed ratio of gearbox? Now this is going to be very important. Okay, now see here, So this is your gearbox. Okay, so from where input is coming? From the engine shaft. Okay, and the output it is going to the propeller shaft. Obviously you are having clutch here. Okay, I'm not showing it now. Let's say this is the input speed and this is the output speed. So the gear ratio, it is can be denoted by I. It is defined as input speed to that of output speed. So I hope definition of gearbox is clear to you. Okay. Now this is in general gearbox and what is the gear ratio. अभी gearbox में हम बोलते हैं 4 गियर से 5 गियर से. So obviously at each stage the gear ratio will be different. How it is different? See, this is your engine shaft. ये कहाँ पे जाने वाला है? फर्स्ट गियर, देन सेकेंड गियर, देन थर्ड गियर, fourth, and let's say then propeller shaft. Okay, I am not considering fifth. Right, this is just for explanation. So फर्स्ट गियर का अगर हमें गियर रेशो निकालना है तो आपको स्पीड क्या लेना पड़ेगा? This one, and output speed of first gear. Output of 1. सेकेंड गियर का अगर आपको गियर रेशो निकालना है, सो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी द इनपुट एंड आउटपुट विल बी NO2 लाइकवाइज. ओके, सो जो भी एग्जांपल आपको दिए रहेंगे, whether it is asked for first gear, second gear ratio for third gear, so based on that you can simply draw this picture and it will be easy for the understanding. Okay, so let's say in a car there are 5 gears. So these are the gears and gear ratio. We will see how gear ratio varies. So for the first gear, second gear, third, fourth, and fifth. Okay. Now for the first gear, let's say gear ratio it is 3.42. For the second, 1.89. Third, 1.28. For the fourth, let's say 0.91, and fifth 0.76. So this is how gear ratio is different. So gear ratio it is maximum for the it is maximum in first gear, and gear ratio it is going to be minimum in the last gear. So this you have to remember. Is it clear? You can note down this point. So gear ratio it is maximum in the first gear, it is minimum in the last gear. Okay, and this is the simple definition of gear ratio. Okay, input speed to that of output speed. Is it clear? Right. Please note down everything. All points are very important. Then next, what is the power transmission capacity of gearbox? What is the power transmission capacity of gearbox? Okay, so let me draw here one picture. This is your gearbox. Okay, so there is going to be input and there is going to be output. Now let's say pi it is the input power to the gearbox. That means it is going to be engine power. Okay, यहाँ पे क्या है? इंजन है, यहाँ पे क्या है? प्रोपेलर शाफ्ट है. यहाँ पे इंजन है, यहाँ पे क्या है? प्रोपेलर शाफ्ट है. Okay, so let pi is what? Input power to the gearbox. So PO क्या रहेगा? Obviously, okay, let me use different ink. Okay, so PO is going to be output power of the gearbox, right? Then second, T it is for torque. It is the input torque to the gearbox, and output torque from the gearbox. Let's say it is TO, and let's say the efficiency of the gearbox is n, right? Okay, so we know how to calculate input power. Okay, how we can calculate the input power? Pi. So we know it is what? Ti into omega I. Okay, right. So T is what? Torque. And what is omega? It's an angular speed. So basically omega क्या होता है? It is 2 pi n by 60. Is it clear? Right. Similarly, for the output power, what you can write? Output power is To into omega O. So what will be efficiency? Efficiency, it is defined as efficiency of gearbox. Output power upon input power into 100. So efficiency always expressed in percentage. That's why I am multiplying with 100. So To into omega O upon Ti into omega I into 100. Now, if efficiency is 100%, then what you can write? Ti omega I is equal to To into omega O. Okay, so what is this? This is the input torque, input speed. This is the input side basically, and this is your output torque, output speed. So this is what? Output side. Is it clear? So this is a simple mathematical calculations for power transmission capacity of gearbox and how to calculate the efficiency. Obviously, you are going to have the numericals based on this, and you have to remember 1 HP. Basically, it is equal to 0.735 kilowatt. Please remember this relation. It is going to be useful for you. Okay, 1 HP, it is 0.735 kilowatt. Okay, so I hope power transmission capacity of gearbox now you have understood and how to calculate the efficiency, right? Okay, now let us discuss some simple examples based on this. Let us read the example. Example number 1. Okay, the automobile engine is running at 6000 rpm. The speed of propeller shaft, it is 15,000 rpm in first gear and 7500 rpm in fifth gear. Determine the gear ratio in the first gear and fifth gear. Okay, have you understood the example? See, what is given? Automobile engine is running at 6000 rpm. So, can I say Ni is equal to 6000 rpm, or better, let us, this is the first example. Let me draw the diagram first so that it will be easy. So, you are having gearbox input from the engine, okay, input side, and this is the output side. So it is going to the propeller shaft. It can be first gear, second gear. अभी इसको अगर ब्रेक डाउन करना है तो हम कैसे करेंगे? सो गियर बॉक्स में फर्स्ट गियर होने वाला है. So when your vehicle it is in first gear, so first gear से भी कहाँ पे जाने वाली है तुम्हारी पावर? प्रोपेलर शाफ्ट को. दिस इज योर इंजन. So in the first gear, engine is running at 6000 rpm. And what is the speed of propeller shaft in the first gear? It is 15,000 rpm. Okay, so how I am going to calculate gear ratio for the first gear? So you can write here for first gear I. What is the input speed? 6000. What is the output speed? 1500. It is 4. Very easy. So first गियर रेशियो इन फर्स्ट गियर इज ओवर. अभी और इसको एक बार हम डिवाइड करते हैं. लेट्स से योर बाइक इट इज इन फिफ्थ गियर. तो ऑब्वियसली फिफ्थ गियर पे भी आपकी पावर इंजन से आने वाली है. पावर कहाँ पे जाने वाली है? टू द प्रोपेलर शाफ्ट. सो इन दिस केस what is the input speed? 6000. But what is the speed of propeller shaft in fifth gear? It is 7500. 7500. So let us calculate now for the fifth gear. I is equal to, what is the input speed? 6000. What is the output speed? 7500. So what is your answer? 0.8. So gear ratio, obviously it is going to be maximum for first and it is going to be less for fifth. Is it clear? I hope this example is clear to everyone. Okay, right. So if you are new to my YouTube channel, please do like and subscribe, and you can also write in the comment box whether you are finding these videos useful or not. Right. So let us see this example number 2 now. Read the statement. The automobile engine is developing 70 kilowatt power at 4000 rpm. So input side का power और torque speed दिया हुआ है. Now gear ratio in the first gear it is 3.9. Determine the input torque and output speed of the gearbox. Okay. Simply gearbox का एक picture निकाल लेते हैं. This is your gearbox. Input it is from engine, output it is going to the propeller shaft. This is the input side, output side. So क्या क्या दिया है एक बार लिख लेते हैं. So PI is given to you. What is PI? 70 kilowatt. Then speed is given. NI it is 4000 rpm. Okay. So it is in first gear. It is in first gear. Gear ratio it is 3.9. You have to calculate the input torque. Okay, output torque. Okay, output speed. Okay, very easy example, right? We know all the formulas, so it is going to be very easy, right? So first is what? Input torque. कैसे निकालते हैं आप इनपुट टॉर्क? हमें पावर का फॉर्मूला पता है, टी आई इंटू ओमेगा आई विच इज इक्वल टू टी आई इंटू 2 pi n upon 60. Okay, now pi it is given in kilowatt, so 70 into 10 to the power 3 in watt, which is equal to ti into 2 pi. What is the input speed? 4000 divided by 60. So if you calculate this, you can calculate ti from this. You are going to get around 168 Newton meter. You can check. Very easy, right? See, जो भी हमने पढ़ा है उस पर ही एग्जाम्पल पूछे जाएंगे. ओके, कुछ बाहर का आने वाला ही नहीं है. अगर आपने वीडियो आराम से सब लिख कर समझ कर अगर देखा होगा, it is going to be very easy for you. So first is over. Second, output torque of gearbox. ओके, उसके लिए बेसिकली हमें पहले आउटपुट स्पीड निकालना होगा, क्योंकि हमें आउटपुट पावर तो पता है नहीं. सो लेट अस कैलकुलेट फर्स्ट आउटपुट स्पीड. कैसे निकालेंगे? सी हियर. ओके, सो गियर रेशियो इट इज गिवन टू यू, input speed upon output speed. So NO it is equal to NI upon I. What is the input speed? 4000. What is the gear ratio? 3.9. आउटपुट स्पीड हम कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं 1026 आरपीएम. वेरी इजी, राइट. नेक्स्ट, आउटपुट टॉर्क फिर भी बचा हुआ है. कैसे कैलकुलेट करेंगे? सो लेट्स से efficiency we are assuming as 100%. So we know one relation, ti omega I, which is equal to to into omega o. So ti into 2 pi ni upon 60, which is equal to to into 2 pi no upon 60. So मैं आराम से कैंसिल कर सकते हैं. 2 pi 60, 2 pi 60. हाँ, क्या मिलेगा? ti into ni is equal to to into n. ये यूज करेंगे. कैसे यूज करेंगे? ti पता है कितना है? 168 into ni पता है 4000. to that you have to calculate, and no just now you have calculated. So calculate to from this. Very easy. So you are going to get around 652 Newton meter. 652 Newton meter. Okay, please check. Okay, is it clear? Right. Okay, so this also you have to remember. This is also one of the useful relation, right? Okay, so I hope all the three how we are calculating is clear to everyone. Okay, एक figure important है. अगर आपको figure समझ में आ गई, you can easily do the miracles, right? So let us go and check what is the example number 3. This is going to be the last example. The car engine is developing 81 bhp at 550 rpm. The gear ratio in the fifth gear, it is 0.83. Efficiency of gearbox, it is 90%. Determine input torque, output torque and output speed of the gearbox. Okay, simply एक डायग्राम बना लो छोटा सा. इनपुट रहेगा, आउटपुट रहेगा, गियर कौन से, द गियर रेशियो इन फिफ्थ गियर. सो दिस इज इन फिफ्थ गियर. ओके, सो बेसिकली इनपुट कहाँ से आता है, इंजन से आता है. कहाँ पे जाता है, प्रोपेलर शाफ्ट की तरफ जाता है. ये हमारा इनपुट है, ये हमारा आउटपुट है. अभी देखिए, कार इंजन इज डेवलपिंग 81 bhp, इनपुट पावर 81 bhp at 5500 rpm, gear ratio 0.83, efficiency of the gearbox 90%. Find input torque, okay, output torque, output speed. Okay, so again it is very easy. Let us try to solve this. पहले जो पिया है हमें बेसिकली वैट में चाहिए, तो हम उसको वैट या किलोवाट हम कन्वर्ट कर लेते हैं. So input power, it is 81 bhp, brake horsepower. So basically it is equal to 81 into 0.735 kilowatt. Okay, so this is going to be around 59.5 kilowatt. Okay, right. So this you can easily calculate. Pi is equal to Ti into omega I, which is equal to Ti into 2 pi Ni upon 60. So 59.5 into 10 to the power 3, which is equal to Ti into 2 pi. What is Ni? 5500 divided by 60. Ti you can calculate. Okay, you can easily calculate. Okay, नेक्स्ट क्या कैलकुलेट करना है देखिए. ओके, तो इनपुट टॉर्क हमने कैलकुलेट कर लिया इजीली. आउटपुट टॉर्क ऑफ गियर बॉक्स कैसे कैलकुलेट करेंगे, इफिशियंसी दी हुई है लेकिन स्पीड हमें यहाँ पे पता नहीं. पहले स्पीड, ये जो आउटपुट स्पीड है वो कैलकुलेट कर लेते हैं. गियर रेशियो दिया हुआ है, गियर रेशियो इट इज इक्वल टू एन आई अपॉन एन. सो एन ओ इज इक्वल टू एन आई अपॉन आई. एन आई कितना है 5500 डिवाइडेड बाय आई. क्या है आई, 0.83. So output speed, it is going to be around 6627 rpm. Okay, अभी इजी है, राइट. नेक्स्ट क्या कैलकुलेट करना है देखिए. ओके, कैलकुलेट करना है अभी. सो हमने क्या कैलकुलेट किया अभी, आउटपुट स्पीड. अभी आउटपुट टॉर्क हमें कैलकुलेट करना है. एफिशिएंसी दी हुई है, क्या रहता है एफिशिएंसी का फॉर्मूला हमें पता है. इट इज व्हाट, पी ओ अपॉन पी आई, विच इज इक्वल टू टी ओ ओमेगा ओ अपॉन टी आई इंटू ओमेगा. Okay, so instead of omega o we can write NO and omega I यहाँ पे हम NI भी लिख सकते हैं. So if you are going to solve this 0.90 90%, so 0.90 it is going to be TO. तो हमें कैलकुलेट करना है into NO 6627 divided by TI. ओके, यहाँ पे हमने कैलकुलेट किया हुआ है टी आई, तो आपको ये वैल्यू यहाँ पे पुट करनी है. एन आई, व्हाट इज एन आई, 5500. सो यू कैन सॉल्व दिस. ओके, लेट मी राइट द वैल्यू हियर. सो आपको जो इनपुट टॉर्क मिलेगा, अगर आपने कैलकुलेट किया है, प्लीज चेक Please verify. It is going to be 104. Okay, so this is going to be 104. So output torque, if you do this calculation, it is going to be around 78 unit will be Newton meter. So output torque of the gearbox, it is 78 Newton meter. Okay, so this is how you have to solve the example. You can pause the video and you can note down all the things. Okay, so this is how you are supposed to solve the examples based on gearbox. So hope you have understood all the details related to gearbox. What is the need of gearbox? Location of gearbox is important. Function of gearbox, right? Then different types and synchronous gearbox. Basically, it is used in the cars that you have to remember. How to calculate the gear ratio and power transmission capacity. So maybe simple numerical may come based on these formulas, right? So I hope all the points now it is clear related to gears and gearbox. So basically we have simply covered, see engine we have already covered, and now we have covered gear and gearboxes. So this is how we are going to cover one by one each system, maybe in MCQ point. So where I feel that MCQs are more important, I will directly explain with the MCQs. Okay, or it may be a descriptive type of video, right? So still, if you are new to my YouTube channel, please do like and subscribe. You can join us on Telegram, where you can find the MCQs as well as the notes. And also don't forget to like us on Facebook, and please don't forget to share with your friends also. This is a free course, so please take the maximum advantage of it, right? So we'll meet with the next video very soon. Thank you.